Yeah, and the initial details from the sources are pretty stark. We're talking about a ferry with 65 people on board. It sank late Wednesday near Bali. Conditions were rough, apparently, and by Thursday, they were already transporting bodies back home, 6 confirmed, but around 30 people were still missing. That's devastating.
30 people missing. That's huge.
Jadi macam manunya, jadi tidak begitu melompat. Karena sudah dekat air.
Pihak rumah sakit itu ngasih kabar kepada saya, katanya pihak keluarga saya itu ada yang jadi korban tenggelamnya kapal itu di Gilimanuk.
So the search and rescue, that must have been immediate, right? What did that effort look like?
Well, it was massive, but they hit problems quickly.
Yeah.
Your sources mentioned they actually had to pause the search Thursday night.
Pause. Why?
Visibility. Just too dark, too difficult out there on the water. But they weren't giving up. They planned to start again first thing Friday morning. And the scale of the effort was significant. Over 160 people. Police, military, all involved.
Yeah, right. Throwing everything they had at it. Understandable. And the people who survived, I mean, their stories must be terrifying. What did they experience?
Absolutely harrowing. One survivor, Bejo Sentosa, described these really strong waves hitting the ferry. He was rocking badly. This was on the way back to Gilimanuk port in Bali. That's a key link, between Bali and Java.
Okay.
He said maybe 30 minutes into the trip, the cargo trucks on the deck, they just suddenly shifted, tilted over. And here's the really shocking part. The whole ferry sank in about 5 minutes after that. Just gone.
5 minutes? That's almost impossible to imagine the speed of it. There was another account too, wasn't there? Someone who lost their father.
Yes, tragically. That survivor described how the ferry just started sinking and listing, tilting really badly.
Yeah.
Pure panic on board. People scrambling, dozens apparently getting ready to jump as it went under. There was just no time.
It's hard to fathom that kind of chaos. And you mentioned this isn't exactly an isolated incident, is it? This connects to a bigger pattern.
That's right. Sadly, ferry accidents like this are, well, far too common in Indonesia. The sources really highlight this. It often comes down to, let's say, lax safety standards. Rules are there, maybe, but not always followed.
What does lax mean in this context? Like specifically, overloading?
Exactly. Overloading is a big one.
Yeah.
Vessels carrying way more people or cargo than they should. But it's also about the equipment. Not enough life jackets. Maybe the ones they have aren't maintained. Life rafts missing or unusable. Sometimes even basic checks on the boat itself. They get skipped. It's this whole culture where, economic pressures often seem to outweigh the safety rules.
So it's systemic. Not just one bad decision, but a pattern where corners get cut.
Precisely. And oversight.
Yeah,
Well, it seems difficult to enforce rigorously across such a huge archipelago that relies so heavily on ferries. So you end up with situations like this Bali tragedy, predictable in a way, but still absolutely devastating when it happens.